Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bell, the Director of Membership for the Orange County Chamber of Commerce. It is my honor today to welcome Aaron Bazansky, the CEO of the YMCA of Middletown, serving Orange and Sullivan counties in 31 locations since 1882 and a member of the Orange County Chamber of Commerce since 1989. During the pandemic, the Y was deemed essential by New York State for childcare, and just one of the many ways that through the 176 years that the Y has been in existence, that it has risen to meet the needs of the community. Welcome, Ira.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Yes.
my pleasure.
Great, great.
Ira, I'm pretty sure that the general public still thinks of the Y as a gym and swim. And
Ooh,
so let's first talk about um, the why and its mission in general. And, the three pillars for mission alignment that are healthy living, social responsibility, and youth development. And I'm going to give you the floor now. But let's share how you're addressing the mission through the county normally, as a general overview. And then we'll discuss how you've had to adapt to the present environment.
great. Okay. So, one of the things that's critical to us is first of all is to identify what the needs are, and often within those categories. So it's not just that we're only going to do A, B, and C. We're listening. We're building relationships. We're constantly asking for opportunities to partner with other organizations and other not-for-profits. And and most of what we do, if not all, will fit within those categories. So even when we talk about youth programs, especially our teen initiatives, so Leaders Club that you're familiar with, it's very much about building leadership skills. Tomorrow's leaders, our youth and government program, years and years ago, the public school system in essentially did not really have a true social studies program. And I mean an interactive social. A little different between reading a book but putting together legislation, bills, doing the research on it, working with others, and truly understanding um, the governmental process. And in light of, shall we say, of maybe what's going on today, I can see that that's pretty darn important. And so years and years ago, the YMCA of Orange County worked in almost every school district over 80 years ago, having these programs literally on site with these school districts. And it dropped off. And about 10 years ago, we said it was time to resurrect it. And and we've had incredible success with the Middletown school. We normally average 17 to 20 young people who we work with in a variety of ways, and ultimately ending up being in Albany, literally taking over the Capitol building for an entire weekend, the beginning of March, with 700 to 800 of their peers from out the state of New York. And obviously, I'm passionate about that particular program. But those really are just two examples, and a lot of our focus is very much around working with families. So we, within the context of our membership, that swim and gym, if you will, reputation, uh, is it's critical for us, and to think of how even more important it is with everything that we're dealing with today, to try to come up creative ways for families to be together. And particularly now, they're together,
Yeah,
but not always to the benefit of everybody's mental health.
sure.
And so, an opportunity to get out and to do family swims and creative games, uh, and literally have the focus of the activities, in essence, created for them. So this is just an opportunity to go be together, have somebody else put that in context and enjoy each other without that day-to-day stress. So I literally could go, I mean, on and on and on, but there's so much of, again, getting back to the partnerships. So Wise had a critical role. We played a critical role with the Greater Middletown Interfaith Council. And we have a homeless shelter that has operated out of St. Paul's United Methodist Church. Actually, the basement of that church is where the first meetings were held to establish the YMCA of Middletown.
Wow,
Now, if that doesn't blow you away, I don't know what is.
you have so much history. I mean, we could go on and on.
Oh my God, yeah.
We both were laughing when we started to talk about this. How are we going to get this into 15 minutes?
Right, yeah. Right. So you keep me on track, yeah.
Okay, all right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on. So we mentioned, about pre-COVID, how the association had before COVID had operated both UPK and pre-K and full day childcare, as well as 20. And I don't think a lot of people realize this, that the organization had operated 20 before and after school programs. So how has that affected
23.
20? Great.
It grew.
It ebbs and flows.
Yes.
Depending upon licensing. But how has that affected the most recent developments of the schools being allowed to reopen and each district having different plans? I'm sure the inconsistency in the planning has to be frustrating and probably hard to comply with and obtain licensing that's necessary. My immediate thought was potentially taking the fitness facility and obtaining emergency licensing through the Alliance, which is probably Greek to most people that are watching this. But will you be able to rise to the community's needs? As parents have to go back to work, on most days, the kids are going to have to be home.
Correct. And so the quick answer to your question is we spend every waking moment trying to come up with variety of plans of how we can either work with the district, because again, it truly is in 19 school districts in Orange County. It's a Heinz variety of
Right.
plans. There is very little to no uniformity. So fortunately, we've had history with many of them. We understand the locations, and in some cases, we will still be able to offer before and after school programs. Okay, and working on a full day program, possibly not for every day, but we should be able to offer full day programs at Liberty Street. So one of our branches where we operate universal pre-K, preschool, and the before and after school program traditionally from Middletown. And getting back to what you were discussing earlier, we are in the process of getting our Monroe branch, normally called Sophie or affectionately called Sophie, South Orange Family YMCA, and go through the licensing process so we could offer some programming there. So again, while we're not entirely operable from a wellness and that gym portion, it provides us opportunities, to do other things. And Chester School District is working with us to possibly provide an older elementary school, and that we could go through a licensing that they're not currently using. I think it's the Maple Ave School, I believe. So we're being as creative as we can, I guess, is the answer. I wish we were part of that conversation, shall we say, earlier in the development of the plans, because essentially, Heather, what we bring to the table is what the school districts are trying now to think of and the teachers of how they handle this on a day-to-day basis,
Mm-hmm.
we've been doing for 4.5 months.
Right.
So, and we're very willing to share that. So,
So let's get into that because, most think of youth development and they think of sports and they think of childcare. And we kind of started to talk about, the programs that are also available for the middle and the high schoolers that are so impactful, which are, the teen leaders and the youth in government. And your team does, a phenomenal job within the communities with both of those programs, with busing and everything. And all of this information is available on your website should anybody be interested about learning more. But I want to go into what you just kind of started to touch on, which is your camps, which are doing much better than what was expected. And that's where you're getting we've been doing this for 4 months already comment, because you're already well versed in compliance, the regulations, and that's how you're going to be able to flip that into working with the schools. So talk about that.
so since essentially July 6th was the first day of the 3 camps. So Camp Robbins in Walden and Camp Discovery in Harriman State Park, and really 2 camps in Middletown and Liberty Street. Between those locations, an average of between 350 to 370 children a day, size of a elementary school.
Yeah.
Now, prior to that, we did operate a full day child care program at Berea Elementary School, so part of the Valley Central School District, and did right before July 4th weekend for a number of children. So they are on site in the school.
Mm-hmm.
They had tremendous success. And in addition to that, so that was one of our emergency child care locations. And the Liberty Street, where we talked about earlier, was the other emergency child care locations. We worked with 3 other superintendents before that, preparing for them. And we're talking in early April.
Okay.
And they believed that the demand was there. And we prepared, we got the staffing ready, and we were ready to go in 3 additional school districts. And again, this is by the superintendent's request. Now, quite honestly, I think it was a little too early. I think there was still a lot of, not that it may have changed dramatically, but a lot of antipathy, from parents weren't quite ready. And so even though we were prepared, and actually in 2 of them, we had staff on site.
Okay.
In one of them for a week and a half with no children ready. And so that kind of gets back to your original question, or, which I answered, what are you doing to prepare for this? We were preparing for this in the very beginning of April. So the camps I'm thrilled with, and to the point where our 4 camps would end the Friday, August 28th is our last day of camp. Essentially, because of parent demand, we're opening up another week, which takes us right up before Labor Day. A lot of the schools are looking at some shape or form of reopening on Tuesday, possibly, or later on.
So once again, you're rising to the needs of the community. Community is asking,
right there,
is responding.
And those spots will probably be filled in all those locations by the end of this interview.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
I'd say the demand's there.
Yeah, and the fact that they're filling, it means that you're doing a good job complying, and parents feel that their children are in a safe environment. So, I have to say, with 31 plus locations throughout the county, pre-pandemic, now the Y employed on average 300 or more employees. And I think that it's important to get this out because due to the crisis, you laid off close to 1/3 of your Y staff family. Um,
Actually, almost 90%.
oh, okay. I
It
apologize.
went from 350. Our last payroll literally went from 358 to about 30. So if you think about that, 90% of the workforce that we had to lay off. And granted, a number of those people are part-time, they're instructors, they work part-time in the schools. Doesn't matter.
It
That
doesn't
is a
matter.
lot of people.
It doesn't
And
matter.
we've been bringing them back little by little, obviously for camp,
Mhm.
and also to prepare for not just a reopening, but we, in essence, we're pretty functional right now at the South Orange branch and in the Middletown branch.
Mhm.
Pools open, people swimming, water exercise classes, outdoor exercise classes going on. Um, and we're literally building that package. So our thinking right now is to be as creative as we can, Heather, to
Sure.
just keep adding programs, many of them with the family focus, utilizing what we can control.
I want to say that even, you know, 90% cutting your workforce, that doesn't mean that the mission is not still being met. You know, when you work for the Y, you learn how to wear many hats. It's called being a cause-driven leader. You know, everyone does everything. And that was the purpose of me getting those numbers out. In addition to showing what a huge employer in Orange County that the Y is, and how many individuals are actually in this area alone, you know, work for the Y, whether it's their part-time job or their full-time job, you know, how important it is to be involved with the Y and how impactful it is for the community. Um,
Yeah,
let's get
many
into, let's get into something really important though. The Y turns nobody away for inability to pay, Ira.
correct, right.
So this was
And we're
always
keep trying.
this was always a part of the mission that was always so dear to me. But that deficit has to be addressed somehow, which is, you know, usually your fundraising, your golf outings, your galas, your annual campaigns, strong kids. You know, it's not always just a very generous donor that believes in the mission as well. So, like, how is your development team addressing fundraising this year?
Well, we'll start up again, not at this point, but we'll start up again hopefully in the beginning of September. And, in reaching out to, shall we say, the closer members of the family. And we've had some success with people who have traditionally supported us and are still able. What ends up happening is with limited funds until we're able to bring them back, because I don't see those events, Heather, that we've been able to do in the past. I don't see them in the near future. So it's going to look a little differently. But unfortunately, we've had to put some limitation to the percentage of dollars that we're able to provide in terms of financial assistance so that we can spread the wealth, if you will, the limited wealth to as many people, families, camps, on and on as we can. And quite honestly, a part of that is getting back to what you were talking about in terms of that why we do this work, and we wear many hats. And so we try to do as best we can to run the organization as efficiently as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that gets back to the wearing, yeah, sometimes a ridiculous amount of hats. but, but, but
So
all those things together,
So
enable it.
how can the community help? Joanna's going to pop up, you know, your website and your phone number. Is it just simply reaching out to either make a donation on the website,
Yes.
contact for volunteering? Um, you know, I would like to say that, you know, there's a great community need here. I mean, understand the Y is spread out tremendously throughout this entire Orange County and into Sullivan County. And, you know, please make sure that you are supporting your local Y, because the reach is phenomenal. It's not just swimming. It's not just the gym. You know, it's from infant all the way through to the elder population. The Nobody, again, nobody is turned away for inability to pay. That is what the Y has been built on, is being there for their community. And, you know, I think it's important that we get that message out. So, Ira, thank you so much for joining us
Oh,
today.
a
This was an
pleasure.
absolute pleasure for me. As you can see, I have kept some of my wallet.
It's appropriately attired. Yes.
I said, oh, I'm going to make sure that I wear this today. So I really, I'm just so honored to have been able to interview today for Meet the Member. And here's a little tidbit of trivia that I'm pretty sure that everybody that's watching did not know that I want to share. Basketball was actually a sport that was founded at the YMCA using peach baskets. So there you go. That's your little trivia that you can take back with you. Do you have a piece of trivia you'd like to share with everybody about the Y?
Oh my God! Think of I wrote some notes down. So, other sports, volleyballs, like on and on and on. English ESL classes.
Yes.
3 colleges in the Northeastern University at one time was the evening adult education program of the Boston YMCA,
Yeah.
Springfield College, on and on and on. And overnight camping.
Yeah. Oh, I got another
So
one.
first camping, we
I
keep
got another one.
half an hour, we keep going.
Founded in the United States. People think it was founded in the United States. Where was it founded, Ira?
I missed say it again.
The Y was not founded in the United States. Most
That's
people think
right.
it was founded in the United States.
London, England, 1844.
There you go. Ira, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. And
Enjoyed it.
please reach out if I can give any assistance.
Great.
All right.
Thank you, Joanne, behind the scenes.
So oops, thank you. Thank you so much to Ira, to the volunteers and the supporters and the team of the YMCA of Middletown, but really of Orange and of Sullivan counties, for allowing us to continue to support them as members of the chamber. And thank you to all of our members for allowing us to continue to support them and grow their businesses. To our corporate partners, we thank you for your dedication, for your commitment to our mission and to the chamber. I did see some comments come up, but we were trying to stay within a time frame. And I think all the comments that came up with questions, if you just rewind the recording, you'll find your answers at the beginning of the recording, or you can reach out to the YMCA directly. You should check out the schedule of events on our Facebook page and our website, orangeny.com. Other Meet the Members are posted up there, some master classes that we're getting together, and ribbon cuttings as well, because we are truly resilient. Our Orange Open is quickly approaching, and you can find that information out on our website as well. If you're interested in sponsoring it or participating, it is all on our website, orangeny.com. Thank you, Joanna, for being the wizard behind the curtain, making sure that we all look good here. And oh, one more thing. On August 20th at 4 p.m., our virtual speed networking. You don't have to be a member to attend. Thank you so much. Have a glorious weekend.